Over the last decade, I've had the privilege to work with hundreds of growers from different specs in different regions, different areas. And a lot of these farmers are doing incredibly well, grossing six figures and really making a good living farming small acreage, growing vegetables and selling to markets. It's been very rewarding for me to be a part of that journey for all these different growers. But I've also really learned from them. And today, that's what I want to break into and share with you these principles that most of them share that are quite unique to this specific kind of farming. So the number one thing is that bigger is not better. Okay, so that's something that is a misconception about small scale farming, is that you need to scale up growing from a small farming business to something bigger to make more money. And it's actually not that true. Not saying that bigger farms aren't making it, but I can certainly say that smaller market gardens can really crank it in terms of bottom line. And that's really important in farming. And so farms that are 1 acre, 2 acre, up to 3 acres, farms that are working with low-tech, manual tools in the most instance, these farms that I've been closely working with, most of them don't even have a tractor. Okay? These farms grow not volumes, they grow quality, and they direct sell most of their produce to farmers markets, CSA, or to restaurants business. Therefore, there's no middleman, and you can really focus on quality and diversity, which is really the key. So these farms are heavily diversified, and on small acreage, they'll have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crops per year per planting area. And they also are working with the bio-intensive cropping system, which is my number 2. These farms, for the most part, they operate under a very specific cropping system, which is the permanent bed system. That really determines their whole cropping outlay. Okay, farm design to how crops are spaced, which is really closely the idea is that you have a permanent raised bed that is not going to be overworked. You don't need to plow, hill, shape, soil every time. These beds are permanent. You don't even need heavy machinery to work these beds. And then you're developing really deep soil. Okay, so this is really deep soil that's not overturned, not overworked. And then you're planting crops really close to one another, so that you can maximize production in terms of square footage, but you're also creating this canopy, which is a beneficial canopy by having these crops really densely cropped. And so you can have 4 or 5 times more production per square foot, and you also don't have to do all the work of regular field prep that otherwise would be in a non-permanent bed strategy. The next one, and that's a biggie, is that crop planning is essential. So these farms, they've learned to not only grow all these different crops, but they've learned to produce exactly what they need for all the different months or weeks of the year. And so they're catering to 200, 300, 400 clients per week, and the goal is to have exactly the amount of harvest that they need for all these given weeks. Never too much, because that's a lot of waste, and never not enough, because then there's an lost opportunity to be selling. And so the key to get to that is crop planning. Crop planning is the art of determining what you'll be growing, when is it going to be harvested, hence when it's going to be planted, and where it's going to go in the garden. All of this work is done ahead of the planting season, and it fills planting calendars, field maps, and it systemizes a lot of tasks on the farm. And so what happens from there is that these farmers, they're following guidelines throughout the year. They're following a plan. And that plan determines a lot of the operations, and it helps them streamline their production in space and in time. And for all these years that I was developing my style in crop planning, we had these crazy Excel spreadsheets. It would really go all over the map. They were very sophisticated, but now and recently, we have crop planning softwares like Heirloom. The Heirloom software, which was developed by the Market Gardener Institute, and really helps to not only organize and structure the information, but it syncs everything together. So with a software like Heirloom, you're really taking this so much further. So that's really exciting, and that's one of the major milestones of successful farming is proper crop planning. Can't say it enough. The next one is greenhouse mastery, okay? And what I mean by that is growing crops in greenhouses, in heated or cooled greenhouses. We're talking about the most profitable and lucrative crops that you can grow: peppers, eggplants, cucumbers, beans, and obviously the number one crop to grow, tomatoes, okay? And learning how to grow these tomatoes in heated greenhouses or cooled greenhouses, applying all the core principles to trace them, to lower and lean them, to manage insect, to manage yields, irrigation, you can easily double or triple your production in the same square footage, okay? So these farms that are really ranking it, really making a lot of money, they're very good at growing crops in their greenhouses and supplying their clientele really early in the season with these high value crops until very late. And that makes a big difference in their bottom line. Okay, the next one has to do with location. And it's about having a premium market for these fresh organic vegetables. All these farms that are really successful, they're all located in areas where people value fresh, local, organic produce, and they're willing to pay a premium for these vegetables. And there's no secret there. Selling at a good price helps with the bottom line of all these farms, and you kind of need to be in a place where there's demand for high quality, fresh, organic vegetables. And when you do have that, sky's the limit, because then it's a production problem, and then there's so much work that can be done to improve your productivity and your production. But that, I would say, is absolutely essential to any farming success, is to have the proper clientele that's there to support you. So focusing on these 5 principles, I can almost guarantee you that you'll get success on your small farm. And this is something that I know for a fact from working not only with hundreds of growers directly, but with thousands of growers through the online Masterclass course that we teach at the Market Gardener Institute. It's a huge community of growers from all over the world that are connected through peer-to-peer learning and learning these principles in an applied way. You can check out this class at themarketgardener.com. And if also you want to learn more about greenhouse production, and there's a lot to learn there, you can check out this YouTube video that we made about how productive and profitable greenhouse production can be. So in a nutshell, this is it. I hope this is useful. I hope you guys are doing well. I am. I'll see you next time. JM out.